From self-defense rings to a small revolver weighing less than 200 grams, here are the smallest weapons to protect yourself against an attacker. Manufacturers of self-defense weapons spend their time imagining all kinds of practical and effective tools, in order to ensure maximum safety of people. But sometimes, by letting their imagination run wild, they can create self-defense weapons that are as extraordinary as they are small, like keychains, for example. That's right, those objects you see there are not just for carrying keys. After spending a long time thinking about and designing a small, useful, and effective weapon, manufacturers have managed to invent these keychains that can be used by anyone to defend themselves in case of a possible attack. And above all, they have managed to invent a very practical solution. Considered to be perfectly convenient, these self-defense keychains can be easily handled by sticking the tip on the attacker if he attacks from behind, or by hitting him with the keys hanging from the keychain if he is in front of his victim. Well, all this seems very interesting. Nevertheless, the manufacturers of these self-defense keychains were confronted with a problem. Because, well, it was a question of knowing if it was legal to use them or not. In fact, some people still wonder whether these small self-defense weapons would not be prohibited by law, although they serve as a means of self-protection. However, the manufacturers of these keychains can now rejoice in having developed a solution for self-defense, which is very popular nowadays and in having become very rich since then. Now imagine that a person is walking quietly in a beautiful, but not very busy, park. She takes out her phone to take a selfie when she suddenly feels footsteps behind her. No doubt about it, a thief has spotted her and is about to steal her phone. This person then turns around and boom, she pulls a little trigger and activates her yellow jacket. Never heard of this before? Well, it's a smartphone cover that works like a taser, by delivering paralyzing electric shocks. A small and efficient self-defense weapon, but also very useful since it extends the phone's battery life. Thanks to this person was able to neutralize his attacker. However, it gave her a nice adrenaline rush, because to activate the yellow jacket, she had to press the trigger at the right moment. Otherwise, she risked having her phone stolen and being paralyzed by her attacker. But fortunately, none of that happened, and this person was able to resume walking and return home safely. But most importantly, she knew she would never be able to part with her yellow jacket again. Do you like this video? Then don't forget to give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell to receive all the notifications and not miss anything of our next publications. Let's continue. We all stay outside for a long time to accomplish personal or professional tasks. However, it is not uncommon that we sometimes find ourselves in places that are more or less safe, or even that we are faced with an unpleasant situation, such as an assault for example. What can we do in this case? Defend ourselves of course, but we still need to have a small self-defense weapon at hand, like these tactical pens for example. Tactical pens, as they are sometimes called, are useful and protective tools, which serve both as a means of writing and as a self-defense weapon. Their point and tip, if properly aimed, can reach the aggressor and cause him or her severe pain. The idea of their manufacture would have been inspired by Asian martial arts. In fact, the tactical pens are reminiscent of a fighting weapon. Thanks to the design and the easy use of these small, ergonomic, and resistant weapons, we can easily make our attacker run away and go home safely. Well, it is true that some of us might injure ourselves while defending ourselves with this pen, but the pain will be quickly forgotten. On the other hand, it would be difficult for us to part with this little weapon. Many people are used to walking quietly in the street, even at a late hour in the evening, without worrying about what might happen to them. But sometimes, when they want to go somewhere or simply when they come back home, they can be assaulted or have valuable objects stolen, like their cell phone for example. And then, it's time for shock and panic. Well, it is not very pleasant to have your phone stolen, and even less to be followed by your attacker. However, after such an experience, some people have decided to carry self-defense weapons. Not firearms, no, but small, discreet, and effective accessories that can also be carried. Would you know what they are? Self-defense rings, of course. These very useful mini-weapons were made as a defense against attackers. Their material, shape, and design can vary from one ring to another, but almost all of them have the particularity of being equipped with a small sharp object. Thus, those who are victims of a mugging, but who wear a self-defense ring, will be able to defend themselves against the perpetrator without losing their valuables. A small blow and then goes away. This can sometimes cause them some problems, especially if they cause the attacker a serious injury. But fortunately, this does not happen every day, so these people can only feel reassured. And then, by wearing this mini gun on their finger, they will be much less afraid of attackers and will be able to go out with confidence. People feel safer when they have self-defense weapons within their reach, especially if they are small. That's why they often look for weapons that are easy to carry and use. But sometimes, they may come across some rather unusual self-defense tools, such as the brass knuckles. This weapon, which can be carried through the fingers of the hand and can come in different shapes and sizes, is a good way to defend oneself in case of aggression. When they don't go to stores that specialize in selling self-defense weapons, people who want to buy a brass knuckle often look for this weapon on the internet. They end up finding it on the few websites dedicated to this kind of product. However, their sense of excitement can sometimes give way to great disappointment, as some sites point out that it is forbidden to carry and transport a brass knuckle, well, without legitimate reason. However, some people can still get one and have a great time. And let's face it, that brass knuckle will give them even more confidence. Women often spend quality time outside when they are with friends or family, but sometimes, for one reason or another, they prefer to walk alone. However, this solitary walk can get them into trouble, especially when they are confronted by an abuser. But nowadays, women are learning how to better protect themselves against their attackers with self-defense weapons. In fact, they have a variety of tools at their disposal, such as the knife lipstick. Yes, the lipstick knife. As the name suggests, it is a small knife that is stuck in a lipstick case. Light, easy to carry, and effective, the lipstick knife is also a discreet and deceptive weapon. That's right, the attacker will think it is a real lipstick and will never suspect that there is a small resistant blade inside. But it is necessary to use it well because a bad use can hurt those who use it to defend themselves against their attacker, or worse, the weapon can turn against them. But, let's face it, the idea of having a knife lipstick in their bag makes women feel safer. In fact, thanks to this little weapon of self-defense, many women are no longer afraid to walk alone. Isn't that right, ladies? Imagine that a thief is quietly prowling around a deserted area at a late hour of the night, looking for a victim to steal her purse or cell phone. But now he's come across a young person walking alone. Great. The thief prepares himself for the attack and follows his future victim with great steps. When he arrives right next to her, he grabs her cell phone and runs off, happy and proud of his deed. But suddenly, he falls suddenly on the ground, his limbs suddenly paralyzed. But what happened to him? Well, he was hit by a shocker. That's right. This stupid thief did not know that his victim had a shocker in his pocket. A small self-defense weapon designed to immobilize a person. Thanks to the electric shock caused by the shocker, this person is then paralyzed for a while, without suffering serious injuries. And this is what happened to this thief. Slowly, he regained the feeling of his legs and finally got up again, after his victim took back his phone under his nose. Well, this will teach him not to underestimate his victims. Self-defense weapons enthusiasts often find great pleasure in acquiring these items. In fact, they often spend their time looking for novelties or tools that can help them better ensure their own safety. But some of them were quite surprised to discover the pocket shot, a small pouch made of an elastic material, which works like a slingshot. Of course, they searched for this object that consists of launching a projectile at a significant speed, which makes it a good self-defense weapon after aiming well at an aggressor. After acquiring this object, these people were now able to neutralize an aggressor and even use it to destroy anything that could harm them. However, a few people discovered that the pocket shot can sometimes cause injury if it is misused or if the small projectile is fired incorrectly. These people have realized that the pocket shot must be handled with great care, and above all, that it should not be used as a toy or for fun with friends. After all, it is still a weapon, but at least they could feel proud to add this object to their collection. Many people can only feel safe with a self-defense weapon in their pocket. However, these people always look for small weapons, but sometimes they end up with protective objects that are heavy to carry and therefore not practical. But by searching well in the sites of sales of self-defense weapons, some found what they needed: a fast strike, a kind of flexible and effective baton. Light, discreet, easy to carry and handle, the fast strike is an excellent weapon because it is used as a defensive whip. This is a good way to scare off your attacker. However, this weapon would carry a minimal risk as it could injure its owner as well. But with a little dexterity, some of these people now know how to use it perfectly to defend themselves without getting hurt. Some have even become excellent fighters. We can't say it enough, but nowadays, many people are more comfortable with the idea of having a self-defense weapon in their loved one or their bag. This is normal, because they need to feel safe, wherever they are. Although there is a wide range of small weapons available today, some people have been pleasantly surprised to discover the Lifecard 22LR. A very small folding American revolver, about the size of a credit card, that can easily fit in a wallet. As you can imagine, some people were very interested in this kind of weapon and started to conduct research to try to get as much information as possible about this gun. That's how they learned that the Lifecard 22LR weighed less than 200 grams and could hold up to 5 rounds, that it still had a lot of advantages, but that it was not available in all American states. This is bad news that disappointed many people. But hey, they can still hope to get this little gem in the future. Anyway, these people, especially the gun collectors, will remain fascinated by this mini self-defense weapon for a long time to come. You have just discovered 10 small self-defense weapons that really exist. Tell me, which of these weapons attracted you the most? Do you know any others? Leave us your answers in the comments. And as always, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video.